Welcome to a 360 tour of the Natural Garden, which is a park and a coffee shop about 19 kilometers north of Mae Sot. I already walked through the park once and kind of filmed a regular video, and I thought I would do another stroll through the whole park with my Insta360 camera recording 360 video, and you can come along with me and see the whole place. So of course, this being a 360 video, you can move the camera around with your smartphone or with your mouse, trackpad if you're watching this on a computer. Yeah, when I came out here this morning, I was under the impression that the Natural Garden was a new place and that it had been here for 6, 7, or 8 months. But in fact, it's been here for over 20 years. And I'm here at the very start of the garden area, and it has a skywalk. So I'm going to go up the stairs to the skywalk and walk along there. But before I do that, I realized I have the coffee shop behind me, and I'll give you a view of the coffee shop real quickly before I go into the park. Just take a look on the inside. See what the place looks like. Yeah, really nice seating area in there, all kinds of options, sofas, cushions, nice tables and chairs. Make a big cup of coffee. So that's the coffee shop area, and they have seating out here as well. So you can buy fish food at the entrance. I did that on my first walkthrough. And they have a couple of ponds scattered around. Not a lot of fish in the ponds, but there are a few. And this is one of the ponds right here. I'm standing beside it. It costs 20 baht to come into the park, which of course is more than reasonable. And for your 20 baht, you get a 10 baht discount on anything you buy. So if you go in for get a cup of coffee, you get 10 baht off your coffee purchase. And same thing for the fish food, costs 20 baht. But when you pay your 20 baht entrance fee, you can get a 10 baht discount on the fish food as well. So I just climbed up onto the walkway. And the nice thing about this place are the views that you get. So as I go around the walkway, I'm probably going to be lifting the camera up as high as I can from time to time, just to give a view of the countryside. We're into the rainy season here in this part of Thailand, perhaps all of Thailand. And so the landscape is very green, rice growing everywhere, corn, sugar cane, all kinds of crops in the fields. So I'm just walking along the skywalk. I think that's what they call it. Standing right above the fish pond that I was looking at earlier. I was hesitating about coming out here this morning because I was kind of waiting for a sunny day, and it was very cloudy this morning, so I was worried I was going to get rained on if I came out here. But I decided to take a chance. On my first walkthrough, I never went down this way, so let's do that this time. Really nice area down here. Oh, look at that. Huh? They're all connected. I love it when that happens. Because I was down below earlier, and I saw this place off to my right, and I noticed, the steps you can climb up to there, but I didn't realize that you could go from the walkway down to here. This platform. There's no handrail, so if you're busy taking pictures or a video or selfies, stay away from the edge. Be careful where you put your feet. But look at this. There's a walkway heading up to the skyway, and then this walkway continues over here. Practically a Swiss Robinson family setup. Tree houses, treetop living room right here. Yeah, that's really nice. And then you have the steps going down below. You can go down to ground level. Or, as I'm going to do, walk this way and back up to the skywalk, because there are other things to see up here. And as with my other 360 video experiments, I sort of want to keep this video one continuous shot. So I'm going to walk through the entire park. Let's stop right here. Raise the camera up in the air. You can get a view of some of the whole walkway experience. Yeah, look at the view out over the countryside. We're going to see a lot more of that, I think, as we get towards the other side of the skywalk. Down below, right below where I'm standing, there are some animal enclosures. Sheep, deer, and rabbits. And I walked by them twice already, and I felt really guilty because the deer looked so excited. A couple of them came up to the fence and they were clearly waiting for food, and there wasn't any food anywhere for me to give them. So I felt very guilty. But just now, as I started this 360 tour, I noticed that they had put some bunches of greenery out on the front table. So I think you can buy some bunches of greenery now to feed the deer. Or maybe the deer and the rabbits. Maybe they eat the same food. I'm not really sure. But since I already had the camera rolling, I couldn't stop to buy any right now. We'll see if if I feel really guilty this time. Maybe on my way out I'll buy some and then bring it back to the deer. But I think they'll be fed by other kind visitors during the day. This is one of these really enjoyable things. I quite get a kick out of these. This is the stairway to heaven, or the stairway to nowhere, depending on your point of view. But the idea, of course, is you climb up the stairs to the very top and take a selfie up here, being very careful not to step off the edge. This is a very stable one, I'm happy to report. There, this is the highest we're going to get on this entire 360 walk. So there's the view of the area. Beautiful, as you can see. They look like they're expanding. They're building some more structures on my left there. Perhaps a little hotel or something like that, I'm guessing. So as I turn around on the stairway, I'm going to be very careful. Make sure I'm holding on to something. I'm usually a pretty stable guy. You know, I think I've got good balance. And physically I'm okay with clambering around on things. You know, I'm not scared of heights. But there's something about walking around with a camera all the time. I keep getting myself in trouble by focusing overly on the camera and forgetting about my feet and tripping over things. So I'm trying to be careful. Let's lower the camera down below the skyway and lift it up for a big reveal. I feel like I'm moving slowly for this 360 tour. Time to pick up the pace, to circle around and back to the beginning. Yeah, they have quite a large structure at the end of this skywalk, which I think large groups can utilize, you know, organizations or any kind of large group that needs a place to gather, have meetings, or enjoy themselves in the evening. I always think I see places not quite at their best because I'm such a morning person. And I don't think people in Thailand on the whole, other than farmers and workers and whatnot, are real morning people. So everywhere I go, like here right now, the place has been empty all morning. I'm the only person here. And I keep thinking that I'm only seeing one side of these places, that it probably gets much busier in the evening. That's probably when people come here. Generally, mad dogs and Englishmen are the ones who come out in the midday sun, as I always do. No sun today, but you get my point. It is quite hot and muggy today. But yeah, look at this big area, lots of seating, and nobody is here. So let's go down. I did see a group of young guys show up. Here they are here. Look at them. They're taking advantage of the netting here. It's another fish pond. I did try to feed the fish over here, but nothing reacted, so I don't know if there's any fish down here or not. I threw fish food down there in the water. Oh, look, there are fish. I can see some. But when I was feeding them, nothing came to the surface. But yeah, this would be like a great hangout place, as these guys have discovered. The modern version of hanging out. Come as a group and then find your own spot and get on your smartphone. Yeah, this is the area down here, and there's the name of the place in case that isn't or hasn't been clear. There's a big sign on the wall, Natural Garden. Okay, from here we turn around. There's a snack room here. There was a woman here a few minutes ago. You can get ice cream, cold drinks, and chips and things like that in there. But here I'm turning around and sort of heading back towards the entrance, and I'm going by the animals. And the deer are going to look at me like, come on, dude. 3 times you go by us and you don't bring us food even one time? Like, sorry, deer, I didn't see any food that I could bring you. I can see 2, 3 of them right at the fence, their ears perked up high. They're just so eager because they know someone coming close could mean food. But I have to break their hearts one more time. So let's move slowly over to the deer enclosure so as not to startle them. But they definitely want to get something to eat. And I don't have anything to give them. Let's see if I can put my camera on the other side of the fence without startling them too much. Oh, made that one a bit nervous. And on the other side are rabbits. There's like, 15 of them in there. And each time I've walked by, this one here at the very front, a white one with black ears, was waiting for food. And look at all the rabbits running to the fence. I have to come back with some food. I will, guys. I'll come back with some food. Look at that. They're so eager. I feel so sad. I don't have anything to give them. I think even the ticket seller is astonished at my perseverance, because I came in and what I tend to do in a lot of these places is go through them several times, because I'll do it once with each type of camera that I have. Just sort of a habit I've developed over the years. Back in the days when I was taking pictures, I would walk all the way through a temple or a park or wherever I am, taking pictures with perhaps a telephoto lens, and then I would get back to the entrance of the park, and then I'd put a wide angle lens on the camera and go all the way through the whole park again. And it's sort of like seeing the place from a brand new point of view each time I put on a different lens. And so I would walk through the park, 3 times using a different lens each time. Back in those days, I didn't have a zoom lens. I only had a set of prime lenses. So yeah, here's a spot right here, surrounded by 3 sort of treetop structures and a hammock. And what I wanted to get on video is this nest up at the top here. Very cool. They built kind of a giant eagle's nest, an eyrie, made out of bent vines and bent branches or twigs. I guess you can climb in there and a group of you can sit around the edges. I'll raise the camera up for a nice view. Anyway, when I first got here, I grabbed my camera and I just wanted to walk through the park and shoot regular video, and I did that. Then I got a cup of coffee, an iced latte in the coffee shop, and they thought I was packing up to leave, but what I did was I got out my Panasonic camera just so I could take some pictures. So I walked through the whole park taking photographs, and then I got back to the entrance and I thought, oh, he's leaving now. But instead I sat down, put away my Panasonic G85, and I got out my 360 camera so that I could go through and shoot a 360 video. So I've actually gone through the park 3 times now, which, I enjoy doing. That's something I like about photography in general. It sort of opens your eyes and makes you look at things in a different way. You're more aware of the details and your surroundings because you're thinking of it in terms of taking a picture or shooting some video. And it changes depending on whether you're using a wide-angle lens or a telephoto or a close-up lens. You're focusing on different things. And here down on ground level, we're below the skywalk. And at ground level, they put down square paving stones. And these pathways lead all around to different areas. So there's that fish pond over there, the swinging chair. And you can walk along these paving stones and climb across the stream. Oh, interesting. I was here a few minutes ago. Which way shall I go? I think I can go this way. And the waterfall. But when I came through on my own, the waterfall was not on. There was no water flowing. Yeah, it's interesting. You don't think of a waterfall as having a switch and a pump, but modern waterfalls do. So they actually have to turn them on when a visitor shows up. And from the waterfall, I'll make my way back to the entrance. The bathrooms are off to my right, so they have really nice public bathrooms here, so no worries about that. And here we are back at the entrance, and that's the end of my 360 tour.